Gachagua is looking for a running mate who will help him defeat William Ruto in 2027.
Getting a running mate who can mobilize serious numbers to help you to become president, it's not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park.
But do you have people in mind, though? Not telling us, but you have people in mind that you're thinking.
I have several options.
Right?
I have several options.
Okay.
All informed in compatibility.
Yeah.
Somebody I think we can work with.
Yes.
Number two, the numbers he or she can bring to my bid for me to be successful, because for me to be president I need 50 plus 1. I have quite a substantial following, but I need to top it up, and for me to top it up I need a very serious running mate with serious numbers, and those are considerations that we are making as we move on, as we go on. Yeah, it's not easy to pick a running mate. If you are very serious contender and if you want to be president, you must pick right. Yeah.
And who do you think will be that running mate? And by the fact that Rigathi Gachagua is looking for a running mate means that Rigathi Gachagua is laying the ground to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. And allow me to ask you this question. Do you think Rigathi Gachagua, if cleared to run, will leave it to someone else? Personally, if you were to ask me, Rigathi Gachagua has the highest potential of becoming the next president of the Republic of Kenya in 2027 if he will not be barred from running. I'm saying this because politics is simply a game of numbers. If today Rigathi Gachagua were to declare that he's running and is cleared and we go to the polls, he has a head start of close to 5 million votes, which means if Sifuna will run, Kalonzo will run, Rigathi Gachagua will either be number 1 or number 2, because none of the presidential candidates in that situation will be able to garner 50% plus 1, which means Rigathi Gachagua will face off with William Ruto during the runoff. That is where now his fate will be decided. And that's actually why Rigathi Gachagua is looking for a running mate who will help him defeat Ruto in 2027.
Running mates will be informed by science.
Okay.
The game of numbers.
Yes.
I must have a running mate, 1 who is competent, 2 who have a chemist like mine, who believes in the liberation of Kenya, who believes in good governance, who believes in transparency, who believes that Kenyans must be listened to, and who believes that Kenyans have a right to decide how they'll be governed. That is the first thing. Once he or she has achieved that qualification, then we look at what numbers are you able to put together. And let nobody cheat you that these decisions can be made without looking at numbers. William Ruto picked me as deputy president.
Yes.
By the way, he didn't like me at all.
When he was speaking, he didn't like you?
He didn't like me at all.
Okay.
He knew I'm a strong guy, and he didn't want anybody strong. He didn't want somebody who is an independent thinker, and he didn't want somebody who can stand to his ground and say this is wrong, this is right. But he needed numbers. So he picked me because I brought numbers.
Game of numbers.
He wanted me as a running mate, but he didn't want me as his deputy.
He wanted you as a flower guy.
Yeah.
In this video, I want us to look at 2 things. The first thing I want us to look at is the kind of a running mate Rigathi Gachagua is looking for. What that running mate should be able to bring to the table. And number 2, I'm going to reveal to you guys the names of the 3 individuals he is considering. And some of them will actually shock you, and some of them I actually mentioned last year. Before I do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or 2, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, what are some of the things Rigathi Gachagua is looking for in a running mate? Number 1, Rigathi Gachagua wants a running mate who will be able to bring the numbers. Of course, the mountain has the numbers. We are talking of close to 5 million. So Rigathi Gachagua will definitely just be looking for like 1.5 million or 2 million or even 3 million. Where can he get that number? Of course, you rule out Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka cannot be Rigathi Gachagua's running mate because of proximity to Ukambani. And of course, if Rigathi is running, Kalonzo will also be on the ballot. So which means Rigathi Gachagua will have to look for a running mate from the western side of the country. That is either a Kalenjin. I don't think that will bring him the numbers, considering Ruto comes from there, but he's focusing more in the Luo nation, and to some extent, the Luo nation. So as we speak, Rigathi Gachagua is considering 3 people from 2 regions. So game of numbers. Number 2, Rigathi Gachagua is also looking for a running mate who will be able to complement his character. Rigathi Gachagua is abrasive. He wants someone who is a bit cool. Just like Ruto could not work with Rigathi, Rigathi is looking for someone who is a bit laid back politically. Rigathi Gachagua is not a reformist. He's looking for someone with reform credentials. And of course, Rigathi Gachagua's brand of politics is a kind of uncouth. He's looking for a polished running mate. From the list which I'm going to give you, the 3 people, you'll tell me who you think should fit that list. Number 3, Rigathi Gachagua is also looking for a reform-oriented individual. In fact, that is his number 1 objective. Because remember, Rigathi Gachagua currently is the face of the opposition in Kenya. But Rigathi is being asked so many questions about his past and canon. So to deal with that ahead of the election, Rigathi Gachagua is looking for someone with serious reform credentials. His first choice, which I'm going to reveal to you guys, fits all those bills. What I don't know is whether finally he will pick him. Number 4 is the Gen Z factor. If there's one thing which is giving Ruto, Kalonzo, and Rigathi serious political headache, is the Gen Z factor, the youthful population in the Republic of Kenya. Because these guys are saying that for them, they'll vote for a person, not based on their tribe, not based on other factors. They want to have their own, someone who they believe can help them. So Rigathi Gachagua's choice of a running mate must be someone who can attract the support of the young people. And that's why his choices is going to shock you. And importantly, the funding. A good running mate should be able to attract funds to the presidential candidate. You see, this one thing which is now clear. The 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya is actually going to be the most expensive general election in the history of the Republic of Kenya. Because William Ruto will try to do everything possible to win it. He's going to spend a lot of money to win it. So it means, therefore, that the presidential candidate must actually be able to have money. So there's no need of you becoming a presidential candidate, then you get a running mate who cannot raise funds. So Rigathi Gachagua is looking forward to having a running mate, even if he doesn't have his own money. The moment he's named, Kenyans will be able to raise funds for him. He will be able to attract even funding from international level. But the question is, who are some of these people? I want you to guess, because at least it's on record. I once explained to you guys his preferred. Let me explain. Number 1, the person leading that pack is Okiya Omtatah. Rigathi Gachagua really wants Okiya Omtatah to be his running mate for 2027. I know most of you have been wondering, where is Okiya Omtatah of late? After the Gen Z protests in 2024, Okiya Omtatah emerged. And the Gen Zs were really pushing for Okiya Omtatah. He even commissioned a team to understand the prospects of his presidency. And remember, by that time, I told you something. Because a friend of mine, who is a close friend to Omtatah, once leaked to me that Rigathi Gachagua was planning. By that time, nobody thought that Rigathi Gachagua would be on the ballot. And that's why I've always been very sure that Rigathi was planning to run for the presidency. This friend of mine told me, and I'm willing to mention names, that Rigathi Gachagua was seriously looking for Omtatah. Omtatah was not willing to meet him. Then one day, Omtatah received a call from Amos Wako. And Amos Wako told him, "Can you come to my house?" So when Omtatah went to Amos Wako's house, when he arrived, the person is found seated with Amos Wako was none other than Rigathi Gachagua. And this is where Rigathi explained to him what he thought about the bid. Then Omtatah, in his own wisdom, now called his team, who one of them happens to be a very close friend of mine, and they shared with them, and they left that open. Up to now, I strongly believe that Omtatah is the person Rigathi Gachagua wants to be his running mate. Why? The lawyer factor. He takes that. If you add the lawyer plus the Kikuyus, of course, Sifuna has complicated the equations, but by that time, Sifuna was not there. He takes that lawyer. You talk of the agencies, he takes it. You talk of the reform credentials, he takes it. And of course, as much as Omtatah is also radical, but it's not abrasive, so he will also be able to complement Rigathi Gachagua's leadership. So Omtatah is the number one on that list. The second person, and I'm not so sure whether this is going to work, is Edwin Sifuna. Can I ask you a question? Of course, Sifuna has now emerged, but let's assume Sifuna had not emerged. Let's assume Raila Odinga is still alive and Sifuna is not part and parcel of William Ruto broad-based government. Let's just assume that. Have you ever heard Edwin Sifuna call Rigathi Gachagua Gashieta? Because everybody in ODM, everybody who was close to Raila, used to abuse or used to exchange words with Rigathi. Have you ever, can you show me any clip of Sifuna attacking Rigathi? Do you think that it's just by design that Sifuna can abuse Ruto, can talk the way he's talking to Ruto, but not Rigathi? That tells you one thing, that these guys have been in talks. And the talks always revolved around Sifuna and the Senate. And Sifuna becoming the running mate. But right now, Sifuna is even more popular than Rigathi Gachagua, and therefore Sifuna might not accept. But in Rigathi's mind, he believes that Edwin Sifuna is the right person. If Sifuna were to deputize Rigathi Gachagua, would you vote for that ticket? I'm asking. I'm coming with a clean heart, just asking. But that's something which they're considering. The truth is, if Rigathi is a presidential candidate and Sifuna agrees to be his running mate, we are talking of two voting bloc, largest, the Luhya Nation and the Kikuyus. Rigathi will attract the young people from the mountain, they will rally. Then Sifuna will now rally those Gen Zs. Ladies and gentlemen, that is politics. And that's a possibility. Can you support that ticket? And lastly, James Orengo. The other day, Orengo was asked the question, and he was very clear that he's represented everybody in this country, including Rigathi Gachagua. The truth is, Orengo has always been Rigathi Gachagua's lawyer. If you've been studying James Orengo, do you think he wants to defend his seat in Siaya? For me, I doubt if James Orengo wants to defend his seat in Siaya. That's not going to happen. But Orengo has a game plan. The question is, what is his game plan? Is he going to run for the presidency? Or is he going to be on the table? Because for me, Orengo is either going to be the presidential candidate or a running mate. And Orengo can only be running mate to two people. Either running mate to Kalonzo Musyoka, which is pursuing actively, or to Rigathi Gachagua. And it's going to mention, or it's going to use the game of numbers as the motive behind it. Ladies and gentlemen, those three people are being considered by Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate. Who amongst the three do you think should be his running mate? Until next time,